Hey everyone, and welcome to Friday Live. It's fantastic to see you all here, and I'm super excited today because I've got wonderful Natalie Parish from Bag End Studios in Queensland coming on with me today, and we are going to be talking about some of her sculptural work that she does using Powertex Art Supplies. So, Natalie, welcome, welcome, welcome. So,
Hello.
really wonderful to have you on here and see you.
Hello. I'm excited to be here too.
So, of course, we're going to be talking today about your gnomes that you've been doing using Cobweb's Craft Studio kits and sort of the backboards. And they're really funky little guys. So, they're really quite quirky. Did you want to show us Harry Potter, seeing as he was featured on the main screen?
Okay, so this one is little Harry Potter. So yeah, basically the little boards are really quite cute to use. You basically get that wooden shaped board and then the feet. And a little tip that from Renee as well, make sure that you have your little feet lined up before you paint them together. And I actually join mine straight away and then often work on them because you can tilt them backwards and work. That bit can hang off the end of the table. And then with this one, I also sell this little terracotta pot. So I basically, because I'm using stone art on their feet, you can just shove the pot on, and because stone art's amazing, it clicks it all in together.
So let's take a look at him. So he is just delightful. So I think everyone will be intrigued by what was the idea behind Harry Potter?
Oh, well, I was making gnomes at the end of the year because Charmaine actually put it up from Cobwebs. So she had some gnomes up, and she does hers differently to mine, which is another, great thing. When you get something that's a basic design, you can sort of add your own feel to it. And Powertexes are great at that. So I asked if I could get some so I could make them up for markets for Christmas. So that's kind of what started me. Was Charmaine was the inspiration to get going. And then for him, I mean, I had different names for him, like when you're silly enough to make quirky things, you end up just going through, usually Michelle names most of my stuff because she's so clever at making up names. But yeah, we mainly came up with him yesterday, just mucking around talking, and I'd called him something like Bobby Buttons. And then realized, oh no, he's a Potter. Oh, Harry Potter. Yeah.
I just love Harry Potter. I think that is just the perfect name for him. And I love the way that you've incorporated the pot plant in the front. It makes it really functional. And yeah, it's just really a lovely piece.
Yeah, so I've got a whole bunch of other ideas, coming up because there's always another challenge, or I get a challenge from someone. You can do so much with them.
So just talk us through some of the things that you've used on Harry Potter, and then we'll talk about a couple of your other sculptures that you've got there as well.
Okay, so good question. That's mesh. I'm not sure, it's I know, I remember. That's burlap and T-shirts, because I still have quite a lot of my old kids' clothing. So I also end up with jean material, and you can just use pockets and stuff. So I think if you can see in that little light, no, it's going to be too dark, and with the pot, but I'll show you on another one. So you can just cut the little pockets off pants and things. I use stone art for the feet, which you don't need to do. You could do a lot more of this just as a wrapping technique. So you could wrap all the way around the back if you wanted to, get your T-shirt and go all the way around. You probably don't even have to use mop string. There's probably other things out there that people could use. You could even use T-shirt material, in strips. So you don't have to, you can come up with look in your own stash and see. I never go out and buy stuff if I don't have to. I'd rather buy Powertex.
Absolutely. So Natalie, just in terms of talking about that, so for the uninitiated and people who've never used Powertex, obviously, one of the brilliant things is that you can harden the sorts of fibres that you're talking about, that you've incorporated into Harry Potter. What would you say some of the best things about using the Powertex with the bases and to create this funky little guy is?
One of the reasons I like the bases is because sometimes it's hard just to come up with ideas. So when you sort of get presented, it's like it's better than a canvas because it's already sort of started for you. It's not like a blank canvas that you're working from. So then you kind of let things start speaking back to you, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because you've already got kind of like the base to start, and then you just play, lay out your materials and
so why Powertex with it?
Sorry?
Why Powertex with it?
Because the Powertex, because I like sculpting. So it's kind of, you could draw on them. You could paint them. That'd be kind of cute too. And you could probably do both. If you're an illustrator, you could probably figure out how to do both, add a bit of Powertex, add a bit of illustration. But I really like to be hands-on. So that's me with Powertex. So, I'm more hands than anything. Although I do often, you got a paintbrush on to seal it. And I often paintbrush on material as well. Sometimes I even paint on the hairy bits. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Powertex is perfect because it acts like a glue, it acts like a paint, and it hardens everything. And of course, it also makes it all weather resistant. So using the MDF chippies, it just
and
really.
Also, when I'm doing my dry brushing, because these are for sale and they may end up outdoors, not indoors. So I use the Easy Varnish, the best varnish, and because it's Powertex, everything's sealed. So you make sure you do the bottom of the feet as well, because I'll be in the garden. And I also varnish the bottom of the feet, like dry brush them, just so they can last, because it does. It's quite colour fast in the garden if you use that Easy Varnish rather than the glossy. The glossy is great for indoors, but if you're going outdoors, I always put the extra, $10 bottle in. Yeah,
definitely, because it's got that liquid wax in it, which will really repel the water. So that's why it's so fantastic for outside, and it's great to do a couple of coats. So just also what you've said that's very important for people to hear, so I'll reiterate it, is to make sure that MDF is really fully sealed with the Powertex and the varnish. So even the sides, and get into all the little nooks and crannies, so that no water seeps.
Yeah, and I think that's why I also do the feet straight away before I even start working on it, because then I know, you got to get the little bits lined up. And if you do that and you've got your varnish, you've got your Powertex in there and it's already sealed and locked into place, just in case you make a mistake, because I have, and you've got to pull the feet apart and put them back in. Then you know that that's all done.
So lovely. So we've just got Robin is here with us. So welcome, Robin. And if you have popped in, please say hi to us. We love to hear where you're from. And she's just said as well that she's thought of an idea, 2 of the gnome bases with a canvas inside with plants. So that could look pretty cool. So we look forward to seeing that, right, Nat?
Yeah, is that Robin neighbour?
Yeah.
Cool. So they're holding like a little sign together. Yeah. Like a little married couple.
All righty. So as well as Harry Potter, you've also got Gerald the Grump. So Gerald the Grump. Now, I know there's definitely a backstory for Gerald. Do you want to just hold him up quickly? In fact, I'll flash a little bit of a picture of him so that people can see him. So there's Gerald the Grump there. I've got him up on the screen, Natalie. So did you want to just tell us a little bit of the inspiration behind Gerald the Grump? Because I know we talked about it, so everyone can see him there with his little sign and his little flower, and looking rather grumpy. And
he wasn't meant to, obviously, look grumpy. I had an idea that I should try and do some for Mother's Day, some gnomes for Mother's Day, and I wanted to try and figure out ways to do the faces a little bit differently. So I started to try and put in the face, and he just started getting grumpy, and I was like, oh, well, maybe he'll be ready for Father's Day. So because he got grumpy from the very beginning, and I also had, I often send my artwork to Michelle Payne. So it's really nice to have sometimes an artwork buddy that you might send your stuff back and forth to, because you can get some critical feedback, and, or in Michelle's case, you can get 10,000 ideas and you don't have to do any of them, but I keep trying. So she was like, put some arms on it, I dare you. So, okay, now I've got to figure out arms as well as face. So originally, like, my eyes were too high. It's been really wet here in Queensland, so things aren't drying. Quite struggled a bit with the weather here. So I even had to push all his face down and move it all around. So it was quite a struggle in a way. But I was surprised how much flexibility I got, because I thought it'd be overnight would be really hard, but it wasn't. So there's enough juicy Powertex underneath there that you could still move it around a bit the next day.
Awesome.
Yeah, so then I had to add arms. And because I was originally thinking Mother's Day, I'd made the flower, the stone art rose, which I love. She's just beautiful. Comes up, yeah. So I'm gonna make some more of those. And
yeah, I love roses with the stone art. They come up so well.
Lovely. Yeah. So then, and I had the pocket, and I already had this idea because he was grumpy. I was going to make a sign and say, get off the grass, thinking that'd be something people would expect from a grumpy gnome. But yeah, then I've changed the words to stop, smell the goddamn roses. So he's a little misunderstood. He's actually looks grumpy, but he just wants you to slow down and admire his work, not avoid it. And then Michelle gave me the challenge of doing some more on the back, and said, oh, what about like a workman? You need a workman gnome somewhere. So I will get round to a workman gnome, but I incorporated the workman gnome into the back straight away and gave him a bit of a butt that's hanging out. So it's a bit of a crack up, I said. Yeah. So you can keep adding. I'm not sure I'm completely happy with him, so I think I'm going to, do more on the back. But that's the thing with Powertex. Even though you think you finished, to go, I was just trying to rush it because I was totally over him by then. But I might come back and, add more. Yeah. So that's Gerald.
Brilliant. So I know when we were talking yesterday that we talked about how Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and how Michelle had challenged you.
Yeah, so I accidentally got grumpy. Maybe I should have done sneezy. We're still in COVID. Put a sneezy one in.
Are we going to see a whole series of them?
Oh, yeah. I've got quite a few ideas yet. Yeah.
Awesome.
There's quite a few ideas. There's probably too many ideas. Some people might beat me to them, even if I don't tell them what they are.
Excellent. And you've got some workshops coming up, Natalie. So I'll just put so you've got the Gnome Sweet Gnome coming up. So I'll just put that up on the screen for everyone so that they can see that. And so do you want to just talk through that a little bit?
So there's two things in there. I have the workshop for people in Queensland. So we're just doing the small 30 centimetre one. But I have got some Powertex people who are booking in who've done quite a few. So they've already challenged me to upscale. So if you're one of those Powertex people in Queensland and want to come and do a gnome, you'll work faster. So you can, if for an extra price, you can go up, because I am going to have people there now, because I can't say no to people. I don't know if anyone, I'm terrible at saying no. So yeah, there's about 3 hours there, because we have a macrame workshop straight after that. Gnome one, but I also have the bases, so you can just buy the bases. They're available in Western Australia. You'll probably have some. Ashley and Cobwebs have them. There's a new one that I haven't received yet that I'm getting with a curly hat, so that's going to be really cute. So the prices on that last slide were for just the bases. I haven't made them up into kits. I I think Charmaine did at one point, but so much of it for Powertex people, they've already got a lot of the materials and stuff. I probably will make up a few kits, but yeah.
I just love the way that as you're creating with the Powertex, and when you're working with anything, like whether it's a standing figure or whether it's these little quirky guys or whatever you're working with, how they just develop personalities. It's amazing, isn't it? They almost tell you what they want to be doing as you're working with them.
Yeah, totally. And I've been trying to add that more into my art practice because I'm also been working a lot on canvas again, and meditating, just because I've opened a studio and that's kind of rather overwhelming, and trying to juggle so many different avenues. So I've like, right, need to center and ground myself. So I've been practicing that, and I find with Powertex products, very much letting it do some of the work for you, and just kind of staying in that Zen zone is often when I get my best. Well, I don't know whether it's the best artwork I do, but it makes me feel best. I always like the artwork when I've done a really good Zen one, even though there might be times during that artwork you struggle. As long as you get past the struggle, yeah,
definitely. It's interesting how you feel actually translates into the artwork, isn't it?
Yeah. That just happened with me with this amazing canvas piece, which we'll talk about another time. I had a really good experience, which I think is why it's, now that we're coming out of COVID and getting in with a group or doing stuff is, it's just so good for your mental health.
So from COVID to community classes, we said yesterday, didn't we?
That's very much what I'm trying to establish here at Bag End Studios, to get people back into creating and developing community again. And I don't. I mean, you can go to the coffee shop, you can spend hanging around talking in a coffee shop, but there's something about doing something with your hands and creating. It's just I don't know, I just think it's really good for your brain and your soul.
Absolutely. So, of course, Natalie, let's talk a little bit about that, because you've got some very exciting things coming up. Did you want to pop Gerald down and then we can have a chat, and you can relax a little bit? So, of course, you are there in Yaringapilly at the Cultural Precinct, which is very, very exciting. So we just need to get word out there that, that's all happening. And
we're doing lots of other stuff as well, and I'm inviting other artists to come in. So it's not all Powertex, but it's I'm also getting back into making more Powertex workshops and doing my own practice on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, because I really wanted to. Powertex is one hard thing about Powertex is that you can do so many different things. So it's really hard to stay on one thing. Like you can sculpt and you can be on canvas, and you can mix Stamperia in there, and you can mix other products, and so you've got an endless list of things that you want to achieve. Tuesday, Wednesdays, that's got to be that list. But then I also want to hold exhibitions, and I'd like to get a Powertex group going back in the studio, and then they could have an exhibition. And I've just really started focusing again on workshops, and hopefully I'll get those Queenslander back on board, and also going out into the regions, because there's still a few trainers here, and they're so get back out there. I will do some online workshops as well. I think the Gnome will be one of my first online workshops. So Ashley's encouraging me to maybe link up Wi-Fi and get better lighting, and another thing to do.
Okay, so that's all pretty exciting, Natalie. So very, very wonderful news to hear that you're going to be artist in residence on Tuesdays out there at Bag End Studio in your new super location. So I'm so excited for you. I think it's just going to be amazing. So we've got a couple of people who've dropped in, and Robin's just saying to you that she absolutely loves your Gerald Grump, and that you've got lots of great ideas. So that's lovely. And Kathy is here from California. So
Hello.
if you're watching, I've got a frog in my throat. If you're watching, please drop in, say hello to us. We love to hear from you. If you've got any questions, please ask them. And both Natalie and I love inspiring people, which is why we love our studios and having people come and visit. And I wish I could get over there to Queensland, Natalie, and see it live. And hopefully that will happen very soon.
Yeah, well, we can now. Yeah, definitely can start moving around again. So, yeah, hopefully you'll get craft shows back over in WA again too. So I'll be back there for those.
Yeah, come and visit.
Yeah. Well, we've got ours in October, so it can't be far off before they come back over to Perth. Yeah.
It's wonderful, though, that we can meet online like this. So it's been wonderful talking to you. But, of course, you've got some upcoming workshops as well happening this weekend, so on Sunday. So
yes. So is that? I think. Oh, yes. So the Rusty Disc is happening here at Yorongapilly. Now the Bottle Beauty did just get postponed because I guess we've got rain again. So we've got Rocky's been predicted to potentially flood this weekend, and then there's rain the following weekend. But yeah, coming up is in the Rockhampton Art Gallery. There will be a Lady in Rags class by Madeline Pinkerton. So hopefully we'll be getting more Powertex into Rocky. And of course, we still have Erica up in Cairns.
Lovely.
Yes.
And of course, that Lady in Rags course will be awesome because people love doing the Lady in Rags. So Rocky is very lucky to have that happening up there. So keep a look out for that one.
If you want those event buttons on our Facebook pages, right? Because that's where we put everything. And it's even if you don't know if you can go, if you put interested on those events, then you'll get updates, and you might find out if you've missed that one. Then if you run another workshop, they pop up again.
Perfect. So if you do want to connect with Natalie, you can connect with her on Bag End Studios Powertex workshops on Facebook and Instagram, or you can go to Bag End Studio on the internet and check out her gorgeous artwork there as well. And of course, all the artwork of the other Queensland Powertex trainers, their workshops are up on the Bag End Studio site too. So, but I think, Natalie, for you, I think it's a very exciting time. I just love your space there, and I really look forward to seeing what you create in your new wonderful studio over the next few weeks as you dedicate your time to being the artist in residence for Bag End Studio there.
Yes, me too. I don't know what I'm doing next. I haven't decided. Yeah.
Okay, and of course you can connect with the whole Powertex Australia community on Powertex Australia Creative Hub on Facebook as well, and learn more about Powertex on the Powertex website. So constantly trying to give you lots and lots and lots of information about how you can use the amazing Powertex Art Supplies. And Natalie, it's been wonderful having you on today. Like Robin has said, she, you just have wonderful ideas. I love always talking to you. We always have a good laugh because we're usually cracking up ourselves over things like Gerald the Grump and Harry Potter. So, yeah, I love your names and titles, and always fun to talk about the backstory.
Well, it's when people come into the studio, because I have lots of artwork up now from different artists, and they go, oh, so which ones are yours? And I go, just look for the silly ones, and they'll probably be mine.
Nice. So Christine is just saying, oh, I'd like a Gnome Kit. So that's exciting. So Christine, I'll be in touch with you, let you know how you can get one of those. And Robin, would love to come and visit you in Queensland as well. So maybe we'll have a whole quota of people popping over to see you from WA.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Just waiting for La Nina to just let up. That would be nice. Yeah, the middle of the year is going to be great. No flooding.
Yeah, Queensland's been hit pretty hard with the rain and things lately. So, so our thoughts are with everyone who's been flooded out as well.
Yeah. Even more reason to do art for your mental health. Don't let it get you down, and power on. Power on with Powertex.
I love it. So on that note, Natalie, I don't think we've got any other comments, but please, if you do have comments, drop them in. We love to hear from you, and it's been wonderful having you on today, Nat. Look forward to catching up with you again, maybe in about a month, to see how you've gone with all your artwork that you create.
Challenges.
And we'll have another chat then. So very excited.
I better get a text message from Michelle any moment now saying you could do this next.
Awesome. Well, great chatting. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We hope that you have an awesome creative weekend. That's why we come on every Friday live to have a chat with you, to inspire you to create this weekend. Like Natalie says, it is awesome for your mental health. And now we're getting back into the communities again, get back out into some community classes and support places like the fabulous new Bag End Studio workshop out in Yoringa. And as Natalie says, there's so much that you can do out there. So see you, everyone. Have a wonderful creative weekend from both of us. Bye.